This is, without question, one of the longest train rides of my life. And not just because it lasts nearly 5 hours. What makes it even longer is where it leads. I'm on a train to Ukraine, a nation still gripped by war since Russia's full-scale invasion in 2022. A war that has claimed over 170,000 lives. I just read the news that Kyiv has just been hit by the deadliest missile and drone attacks since the war began. 28 people killed, and that's the country I'm headed into. But how did I get here? My journey started at the Václav Havel Airport in Prague, Czechia. A country with its own deeply etched scars of war and occupation. In Prague, I joined 11 other top journalists from across 8 African nations, invited to understand the war, not just as news, but as a lived experience. Next, we meet a war journalist who shows us the ropes. Using a map, I ask her just how bad the situation is.
After the operation that Ukrainian did in Russia, I would be more not afraid, but more careful. When there's a siren, I would go to the basement. I would know where you can be and stuff like that.
For deeper context, we attend the Global Security Summit, where I had the opportunity to meet with Czechia's president, Petr Pavel. In a private session, I asked him what we must do to have peace. His response was that we must learn to share as a people. From Prague, we head to Warsaw, a nation that has also seen war. Given birth to that saying that Warsaw never saw war, until war saw Warsaw.
On Hitler's orders, the burning and dynamiting of whatever was still left standing. 150,000 civilian residents killed. The evacuation of the city, 1 million people.
After the sober reflection, I stopped briefly at the Nigerian embassy in Poland, a moment of cultural connection before entering unfamiliar territory.
You are Polish now, so come.
Then the long journey to Ukraine begins from the Polish border of Przemyśl. Once a haven for thousands fleeing Ukraine in the war's early days. Getting into a war zone is never simple. The train was leaving any moment, but the border guard was not in a hurry. Finally cleared, I hurried to the train. The coaches are occupied mostly by women and children, and that was my first real reminder. I was heading into war.
It was really hot, I must say, in this place.
Next on the series.
Attention, air raid alert. Proceed to the nearest shelter.
A threat of a missile attack on our location as we take refuge in a shelter.
Goodness me.
I visit a building that was split in half by a missile attack. And I meet a Nigerian who's still living in Ukraine in spite of the war. A sober moment as I visit the final resting place of soldiers who died in the war. And then a conversation with prisoners of war, some of them Africans.